UFC 297 is the first pay-per-view of the year, and I wanted to give my predictions. I am going to go through the entire card and give my thoughts and breakdowns. The first fight of the night is a flyweight fight between Malcolm Gordon versus Jimmy Flick. Fighters specialize in grappling, but Gordon is the more rounded fighter. This fight will most likely be fast-paced, but I can see this fight staying on the feet. Flick only has submission finishes, so that's the only way I think he will win, while I can see Gordon winning in all possible ways. That being said, I'm picking Malcolm Gordon as a money line at -205. Moving up the card, we have another flyweight bout between Jasmine Jasudavicius and Priscilla Cachoeira. Out of 9 wins, Jasmine has 3 finishes, with 2 of them being by knockout. Most of her fights go to decision. Although Jasmine has never been knocked out, Cachoeira has 7 of 12 wins by knockout, which all came from the first 2 rounds. If Jasmine doesn't mix in grappling, I think she will be in trouble. I'm siding with the underdog to get the win at +300. The last fight on the early prelims is Johan Laincy versus Sam Patterson. Both fighters are very technical, but Patterson is the more well-rounded fighter. Sam has finished 9 of 10 wins by finish, but also got knocked out in the first round in his most recent fight. Although Johan has 6 knockouts, with 5 of them being first-round finishes, I think he's going to be more patient in this fight. Both times that Sam got knocked out was in the first round, so his chin is questionable. If Sam doesn't stand and bang and sticks to grappling, he will win this fight. If not, I can see Sam getting knocked out. So that being said, I'm picking double chance with Johan winning by knockout or Sam winning by submission at -280. The first fight on the prelims is Jillian Robertson versus Polyana Viana. They both specialize in grappling and are pretty equal to each other. Out of 19 fights, Viana only let 4 go the distance and has 13 finishes out of 13 wins. Robertson has won 9 out of 12 wins by submission. Both fighters lost their most recent fight, so I think they will be more eager to get a finish. I'm going with submission as the exact method of victory at -110. Continuing up the card, we have a fight where I haven't heard of either fighter. Doing some research, I learned that they previously fought on Dana White's Contender Series, with Tavares getting knocked out in the first round. Saidi received a contract from that fight, and Tavares went on Dana White's Contender Series again and won his recent fight, getting him a UFC contract. Saidi has never been finished and has 8 out of 10 wins by finish, so I'm leaning towards picking Saidi. Since this fight is both their first UFC fight, I think they are going to be more hungry for a finish, so I'm picking knockout as the exact method of victory. Moving up the card, we have the fight I'm most excited for, Charles Jourdain versus Sean Woodson. Jourdain trains at Brazilian top team in Canada and is more of a rounded fighter than Woodson. Out of 15 wins, 13 are by finish, with 8 of them being from knockout. Jourdain has only been finished once, and that was by submission. I think he will have the edge in this fight, and he will get a victory. I'm picking a money line on Charles Jourdain at -218. Continuing up the card, we have our last prelims fight, Brad Katona versus Garrett Armfield. Katona won the Ultimate Fighter's most recent season and is fresh to the UFC. Most of his fights go the distance, and out of 15 wins, he only has 5 finishes. Armfield has 8 out of 9 wins by finish and has never been knocked out. That being said, I'm going with a double chance victory for Katona to win by submission or decision at -190. Starting the main card with a banger, we have Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev. Arnold Allen has been in the UFC since 2015, while Movsar has been in the UFC since 2019. Allen also has more fights and wins. In Allen's last fight, he went 5 rounds with Max Holloway and put up a good fight. He knows when to pressure and when to not. Allen also makes videos on YouTube breaking fighters down, so I feel like he's great at reading and knows Mosfer's game plan. I think Arnold Allen will be the better fighter in this matchup and will give Mosfar his first L. I'm picking a money line bet on Arnold Allen at plus 160. Moving up the card, we have another matchup where I haven't seen much of either fighter. Looking at their records, it looks like they're pretty close to being matched up. Curtis does have more experience and has had 40 professional fights. Out of 30 wins, Curtis has 17 knockouts, while Barrio has 10 out of 16 wins by knockout. They both have only been knocked out and submitted 1 time. When Barrio was knocked out, it was in round 1 within the first 30 seconds, and that was only a little more than a year ago. I say experience wins this fight, and I'm picking a money line bet on Chris Curtis at minus 185. Next up, we have Neil Magny versus Mike Malott. Magny has been in the UFC since 2013 and has been finished 9 out of 12 times that he lost. Malott has only 1 loss and also trains at Top Team. If Malott doesn't try to grapple with Magny, he might be in trouble. I won't be surprised if this goes the distance, but I'm thinking Mike Malott gets it done by submission at plus 110. For our co-main event, we have Raquel Pennington versus Maya Buno Silva. Both of these fighters typically go the distance, but Silva is the better grappler. She also trains at Top Team where they focus heavily on grappling and wrestling. I believe this fight is for the vacant title or a chance to fight for a title, so I can see these fighters being patient with each other. My only concern is that Silva seems to be very emotional, so I hope that doesn't stop her from getting the win. I'm taking the safe route and taking Pennington by decision or Silva by submission at minus 250. For the main event, we have a fight I've been looking forward to for a while. Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. Both fighters have a high finish rate, but du Plessis has 19 out of 20 wins by finish. We already know Strickland has a great gas tank and can go 5 rounds any day, but du Plessis has never had a 5-round fight, and from the fights I've watched, it seems that he gasses out easily. Strickland always moves forward and tries to prevent the opponent from attacking by being offensive. He is also good at fighting on his back foot, but we haven't seen du Plessis fight that well on his back foot. Both times Strickland was knocked out was in the first round, but he fought heavy hitters. While at the press conference, they had an agreement to knock each other out and to put on a show.
Fuck though, you guys. Me and Dricus, we're gonna try to kill each other for you guys. Dricus, can I get an agreement? Do the death. Do the death. Yes!
I originally was thinking that du Plessis had a high chance of knocking Strickland out, but I watched his fight with Derek Brunson, and it made me concerned on his chin. If du Plessis performs like he did over Robert Whittaker, I think he can for sure get the win. I'm hoping the boys stick with their word and one of them gets knocked out, because I'm picking knockout as the exact method of victory at minus 150.